Good morning, students, and welcome back to the session of the virtual class. This is fifth module for the chapter Agriculture. Today we are going to discuss very important topic, that is technological and institutional reforms. But before that, I would like to make a humble request to like, subscribe and share my video, and don't forget to write your name in section in the comment box. Children, first of all, you should know the meaning of the term reform. It means to make changes in something, especially an institution or practice, in order to improve it. When we talk about agrarian reform, it means redistribution of agricultural resources of a country. Traditionally, agrarian or land reform is confined to the redistribution of land. But when we talk in broader sense, it includes related changes in agricultural institutions, including credit, taxation, rents, and cooperatives. Now, why we are talking about these reforms? What are the reasons which have necessitated agricultural reforms in our country? What the Indian government is doing to bring about improvements in agriculture? This is what we are going to discuss today. First of all, we are going to learn the reasons which have necessitated agricultural reforms. Children, we all know that agriculture has been practiced in India for thousands of years. Sustained uses of land without compatible institutional changes have hindered the pace of agricultural development. This means you are taking proper care of the land, but you are not using appropriate technology, or you can say the modern technology along with it. Definitely, it is going to affect the development of agriculture. It will be at slow speed if we are not using compatible technology. Second, most of the farmers still depend on monsoons because large part of the country still do not have irrigation facilities. Farmers still depend on natural fertility in order to carry on their agriculture. That means they lack material resources. Example, fertilizers. Children, in this chapter we had a discussion regarding slash and burn method. In that method also, farmers were dependent on natural fertility of soil. Ours is an agricultural economy, and many people depend on agriculture for employment and livelihood. Therefore, reforms have to be implemented for raising the agricultural production and productivity levels to produce sufficient food for the growing population. To overcome environmental, economic, and social constraints, agricultural reforms have to be seriously implemented. The declining share in GDP is a matter of serious concern because decline and stagnation in agriculture will lead to decline in other spheres of economy. Now you must be thinking, what is this GDP? GDP is the gross domestic product. It measures the value of economic activity within a country. Or you can say it is the sum of the market value or prices of all final goods and services produced in an economy during a period of time. So, keeping all these reasons in mind, various institutional reforms were taken by the Indian government to bring about improvements in agriculture. Land reforms. Collectivization, consolidation of holdings, cooperation and abolition of zamindari, etc. were given priority to bring about institutional reforms in the country after independence. Land reform was the main focus of our first 5-year plan. The right of inheritance had already led to fragmentation of holdings, that means division of land holdings, necessitating consolidation of holdings. The law of land reforms were enacted, but the laws of implementation was lacking. This means we had enacted various laws on land reforms, but they were not implemented properly. Now, agricultural reforms. Green Revolution and White Revolution are agricultural reforms. Green Revolution is related to the crop production and White Revolution is related to the production of milk. The Green Revolution was based on the use of packaged technology. Packaged technology means using HYV seeds, pesticides, fertilizers, etc. And the White Revolution, which is also known as Operation Flood, were some of the strategies initiated to improve the lot of Indian agriculture. Now, land development programs. According to this, there was a provision of crop insurance against drought, flood, etc. Grameen banks were also established so that they can provide loan facilities to the farmers at lower rate of interest. Kisan credit card, personal accident insurance scheme are some other schemes introduced by the government of India for the benefit of the farmers. Moreover, some special weather bulletins and agricultural programs for farmers were introduced on the radio and television. Children, with this, I also remember one incident when I was studying in the school. My grandfather told me about one such program. The name of the program was Krishi Darshan. Next is the government also announces minimum support price. Minimum support price is the price declared by the government before sowing season, at which grains are procured by the agencies from the farmers. It provides incentives to farmers to increase their production. Not only this, it also saves them from the exploitation of the middlemen. ICAR was also established to modernize agriculture. ICAR stands for Indian Council of Agricultural Research. Now we are going to discuss about Bhudan and Gramdan. Bhudan, Gramdan. Bhu means land, Dan means donation. Gram, village, Dan again means donation. So Bhudan is the donation of land. That means you are donating your land. And Gramdan means you are donating a village. How this happened? There is a story about it. Mahatma Gandhi declared Vinoba Bhave as a spiritual heir. After Gandhiji's martyrdom, Vinoba Bhave undertook Padyatra to spread Gandhiji's message, and he covered almost the entire country. Once he was delivering a lecture in Andhra Pradesh. Some poor landless villagers demanded some land for their economic well-being. He could not promise it to them immediately, but assured them to talk to the government of India regarding provision of land for them if they undertook cooperative farming. Suddenly, one person named Sri Ramachandra Reddy stood up and offered 80 acres of land to be distributed among 80 landless villagers. This act was known as Bhudan. That person was the owner of 80 acres of land, and he decided to give that land, to distribute that land in among 80 landless villagers. Later, he traveled and introduced his idea widely all over the India. Many people got impressed by this idea. Some zamindars, owners of the many villages, offered to distribute some villages among the landless. It was also known as Gramdan. However, many landowners choose to provide some part of the land to the poor farmers due to the fear of land ceiling act. They were having a fear in their mind, if they're not going to give their land as a donation, government might confiscate their land. So out of this fear, they decided to give some part of their land. Basically, Bhudan and Gramdan is almost similar. The difference is of the size. In Bhudan, we donate a part of the land, but in Gramdan, we donate the whole. This Bhudan and Gramdan movement, initiated by Vinoba Bhave, is known as the Bloodless Revolution. Now, contribution of agriculture to the national economy, employment and output. Children, we all know that agriculture has been the backbone of Indian economy, though its share in the gross domestic product has registered a declining trend from 1951 onwards. In 2010 and 11, about 52% of the total workforce was employed by the farm sector, which makes more than half of the Indian population dependent on agriculture for sustenance. The declining share of agriculture in GDP is a matter of serious concern because any decline and stagnation in agriculture will lead to a decline in other sphere of the economy. Considering the importance of agriculture in India, ICAR was established to modernize the agriculture. Now, children, see this table. Pause the video and study the table carefully. I am explaining you this table. Children, it is clear that though the GDP growth rate is increasing over the years, it is not generating sufficient employment opportunities in the country. The growth rate in agriculture is decelerating, which is an alarming situation. Today, Indian farmers are facing a big challenge from international competition, and our government is going ahead with reduction in the public investment in agriculture sector, particularly in irrigation, rural roads, market and mechanization. Subsidy on fertilizers is decreased, leading to increase in the cost of production. Moreover, reduction in import duties on agricultural products have proved detrimental to agriculture in the country. Farmers are withdrawing their investment from agriculture, causing a downfall in the employment in agriculture. Children, that's all for today. Now please note down your homework. There are two questions. You have to do these questions in your registers. Any doubt, feel free to write that in the comment section, and don't forget to like, subscribe and share my video. Do write your name and section in the comment box. Thank you.